Tottenham 2, Fulham 0. Welcome to Top of the Perch. I'm your host, as always, Nick Burt. What a match at the Hotspur Stadium today. Tottenham go back to top of the table. Only match week 9. Doesn't really matter. But they currently sit 2 points clear at the top for now. They defeat Fulham 2-0 today. It's just a really good performance coming off an international break where injuries were a concern, obviously. Son seemed to be carrying an injury going into the international break, and then he played one game in the international break and didn't look 100%. You had, it feels like half the team, that goes to South America. So, Romero, Velez, Bentancur wasn't there, but he's still injured, obviously. But good news on that. He is back in full training, so it seems like sooner rather than later we'll be seeing Bentancur in this lineup. It just seems like an international break. Players always get injured that play for Tottenham and nobody else. It just seems to play out that way. Mostly escape that. It was a good performance today. We had a goal from Son in 36th minute. A just blatant Fulham mistake ends up with Richarlison getting the ball, who had a great assist on this one. Gets it to Son. Son gets it in back of the net. It's 1-0. What a curler of a shot, too. Just quite good. You have Madison goal out of the second half in the 54th minute. That puts the game away at 2-0. Vicario, outstanding, man. Outstanding. He is dark horse signing of the summer. I know Madison is up there as Tottenham signing of the summer, but we wouldn't be here without Vicario. If it was Hugo Lloris starting in net, if it was any other goalkeeper starting in net, I don't think we're here. Vicario has just been that good. He is Italian Spider-Man. But yeah, I can't really complain about this performance. I thought they played really well. Obviously, having a longer break, I guess I would say, coming back because they were the first game on the Saturday. Everybody went off for internationals, came back Wednesday, I think, this past week. We're the last game of the week, so get a little bit extra there. It doesn't probably really matter, but it's still nice to have that extra there. But, we'll get into the stats and we'll get into my player breakdown in a minute, but I kind of just want to talk here. We're in the 10th game of the Postecoglou era because this was match week 9 and we played the one Carabao Cup game against Fulham in the midweek. That was kind of worried we were going to repeat today, but we didn't. We're in the 10th. We just finished the 10th game of the Postecoglou era, and just the fluidness that Tottenham play with right now is so interesting to watch compared to what they've played with the past, seems like 3 years. You have, it's so hard to explain because this team just looks so different. And it's only been 10 games. And it looks like they've been running this system for years. There's just such a fluidness to it. You have midfielders actually wanting to make plays, which Højbjerg, he's one of those, defensive-minded midfielders that was brought in under Mourinho, obviously very defensive football there, flourished under Conte, a defensive football to its core. Now you have an attacking style player. Wasn't really looking like he was going to fit in. Played pretty well today, fitting in for Bissouma, who was out with the red card suspension. But you see midfielders that actually want to play football, it seems, and actually going up into attacking situations. And if they're staying back, you have inverted wingbacks that are actually doing things, which is just insane to think about. because you just never saw that. You have Pedro Porro on the right side. You have Destiny Udogie on the left side. You had Emerson Royale on the left side for most of the second half, but we'll get to that. It's just this team looks completely different, and that's one of the reasons why they're sitting top 9 games in. And at some point, I mean, I feel like we're starting to get there. Everybody's like, oh, new manager bounce, all that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we're 9 matches into the Premier League season, and I don't think the new manager bump lasts that long. This is more just implementation of what we're watching, basically. And I really don't have the words to comprehend just how good this team, I feel like, is making all the fans feel. We've watched, just such terrible football for, again, I say the last 3 years. It could be 4, it could be 5. It's not 5, but you get the point I'm trying to make here. There's actual positivity around this club right now. And I think that's the most dangerous weapon this club has right now, is this positivity, because I don't see it stopping. I say that now, and they'll lose 2-0 to Crystal Palace on Friday. But there's just so much good energy around this club right now, and it's so refreshing to see. I don't even think we had this much positivity on that the Champions League final run, honestly, in 2019. Because if you look at our league form that year, we were absolutely dreadful. There's so much positivity around the club. It's really awesome to see. So given that, we'll move into the stats here. As it always seems, Tottenham is your possession leader. They had 56% of the possession in this game, compared to Fulham's 44%, obviously. Fulham, it felt like, was kind of matching them in this game. We saw that in the Carabao Cup game. I know that was like the B squad for Tottenham, but still, we still somewhat saw that. It was much closer possession-wise than it has been for other games. Tottenham, 15 shots compared to Fulham's 10. Again, this is the first team Tottenham's facing off with for a second time this season. So for them to go where they were in that Carabao Cup game, which, again, I know it was a B squad, to go from that to this performance, I think it shows the difference between our starters and our B squad, and B, how the system adapts, basically. Shots on target, Tottenham 5 to Fulham's 3. Shots in the box, Tottenham 10, Fulham 7. Outside the box, Tottenham 5, Fulham 3. So Tottenham clearly leading the shot-wise here, as you would expect. Expected goals, again, as you would expect with those shots. Tottenham at 1.51 compared to Fulham's 1.03. Passes, Tottenham still over 500 for, the 10th game in a row, I think. 592 compared to 459 from Fulham. Tottenham completed 87% of those passes. Fulham was at 85. So that's a more equal number than I think we've seen from a lot of Tottenham matches this year, because it feels like Tottenham's always in that 85 to 95 range. I know it hasn't gotten as high as 95, but 85 and 95 range. Their opponents have always been, it seems, in like the 60 to 80 range. So to have a team that's somewhat equally completing passes, I think shows more that this squad can do something against, quality opponents, I guess I would say. Fouls, Tottenham had 10 compared to Fulham's 14. But Tottenham had 2 yellow cards out of that compared to Fulham's 0. Corners, Tottenham had 3, Fulham had 5. So given that, it wasn't as dominating as a performance on the stat sheet as other games have been, but still a dominating performance nonetheless, which means it is time to get into our player ratings. So starting off at the top, you have Son, goal scorer and assister on James Maddison's goal. Got subbed off in the 81st minute. He still earns a 9.1 in this game. Richarlison, he got the assist on the Son goal. He gets an 8.1. He also got subbed off in the 81st minute. It was a performance that I think he desperately needed. Yes, he didn't get the goal that I think he really needs, but he had a quality performance, which earned him an 8.1. Probably could have been a little higher, but it was a quality performance that he needed. And I think we'll get into it when we get down to him, who got subbed on. I don't think you can take Richarlison out of the starting lineup right now. I think he's starting to find his form back finally. And I think the goals are going to come. James Maddison also gets a 9.1, just like Son. He also got subbed off in the 81st minute. He obviously got the second goal of the game. He earns my player of the match because I don't think Tottenham win this game if James Maddison isn't playing there. His playmaking abilities out, just trying to find ways to get the ball near the net or get the ball near somebody that can put it in the net. It's second to none. And this Tottenham team wouldn't be here right now without him. And he, I think, thoroughly deserves this player of the match. Even though I think it could have gone to Son, could have gone to Romero, who we'll get to, could have probably gone to Vicario because he made a few saves that kept Tottenham in this game. I think it could have gone to any of them. I gave it to Maddison, though. Kulusevski gets a 7.5. Wasn't the best of his performances, but I think we're reading into Kulusevski wrong because we remember him as the goal scorer under Conte. I don't think that's his role under the Postecoglou system. I think he's more of the playmaker creator ability, so he's not going to be scoring goals all the time like it felt like he did under Conte, and I'm completely fine with that. He makes the plays, and who can blame him? Postecoglou, his system is proven, still unbeaten, and you just got to keep rolling with it. I don't really have questions about Kulusevski right now. I know some people are saying, well, maybe we need an upgrade in that position. We need a goal scorer. I don't think we do. I think Kulusevski is playing the game that Postecoglou wants him to play right now. I think that's really important. Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg gets a 7.8. He stepped into this role because of Basuma's red card. I know a lot of people hated him coming into this lineup. He had a stellar performance today. I know I gave him a 7.8, but I truly think he had a stellar performance stepping in. It wasn't, the greatest. There were some things that could be fixed, but he fit the Basuma role perfectly. He perfectly subbed in for him, and the fan base hates on him a lot, and I really don't get it. He was a really good servant for the club under Conte, Nuno, and Mourinho. Just his style of football doesn't fit the Postecoglou system, and that's completely fine. He's still a really good footballer. Popsar, he got subbed off early. I believe it was around the 62nd minute. After the match, Postecoglou said he was unwell coming into the game, so he's probably only going to go 60 anyways. Still had a decent performance. I gave him a 7.8 along with Højbjerg. I think just those two worked really well today. I know could have been better, but it could have been much worse. Destiny Udogie, he got subbed off in, I believe it was like the 56th minute, so he was one of the first subs of the match. He got subbed off for Emerson Royale. He earns a 7.6 in this match. With him, I know it's still learning curves for him. He still looks like a really good player. I feel like I say it every week. But he is the left back of the future for Tottenham, and obviously he's getting there. He's still learning. I still like the way he's playing. Do I completely agree with the sub here? Not really, but it's a learning curve. We'll just leave it at that. Mickey Van de Ven, another amazing performance from him at the back line. He earns an 8.4. Obviously, he had the goal in the last game at the Kenilworth Road against Luton. He put up a performance on the back line today alongside his partner, Christian Romero, who earns an 8.8. Like I said, could have earned man of the match. Romero is absolutely incredible. I'm so glad that these two are my center backs right now. It is literally Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld at our back line again. It is just, it's so amazing to watch. Again, I would still very much like depth for this position, because if one of those two goes out, Tottenham are screwed. So January, please get depth. That's all I'm asking for. Pedro Porro gets a 7.9. Again, he's a player that was brought in for Conte, but Postecoglou has made him the player that he is now. He is an absolutely incredible player, honestly. He is playing out of his mind. It's just insane to watch, because he was brought in for a system that plays so defensively, but now in this attacking system, he looks even better than that. So he's one of the players I'm so excited to watch develop, because he's still young. He's still very young, and he can just become such a great player. Vicario, I already mentioned him a few times. He earns an 8.2, made some incredible saves. Italian Spider-Man. I wouldn't want any other keeper at this club right now. We saw a lot of keepers get exposed this weekend that were rumored to be with this club at this moment to replace Hugo Lloris, but Vicario is the man. And there will be slips-ups, I'm sure, eventually, but for now, he's playing absolutely incredible. Looking at our subs, like I mentioned, Emerson Royale got subbed on for Destiny Udogie, earns a 7.2. I thought he did decent in the left back position. I feel comfortable if one of Udogie or Porro go down with injury, replacing them with Royale. Yes, it's a step down in talent, but he can still fill their position. Oliver Skip, he got subbed on for Sarr in that 62nd minute area. I'm not seeing it from Skip right now, and that it does make me sad. He is one of our own. It's just, I just don't see it from him. There were flashes of it, but I don't know if he has it to be like a full-time starter in this squad. And especially when Bentancur comes back, I feel like it's going to be hard for him to find playing time, because then you're more than likely dropping Sarr to the bench, because then it will be Bissouma and Bentancur in the midfield, alongside Madison, of course. But it's just, I wish I was seeing so much more from him, and I'm not really seeing that right now. Lo Celso got subbed on in the 81st minute. It was kind of hard to grade here. There just wasn't enough there. Usually I wouldn't give a grade, but I mean, he played a good, including stoppages, like 15 minutes. So you got to grade something there. He was okay. He wasn't really out there making a ton of plays, but the game was kind of already in the bag by then. So I don't think there was really any worry about that. Brendan Johnson comes back from injury. He got injured in the North London derby, I believe, or somewhere around there. Gets subbed on for Richarlison today. And I think this is where the debate is. I think a lot of people are going to want to see Johnson in the starting 11 on Friday, most likely replacing Richarlison. I don't think you can drop Richarlison right now. Yes, I know Brendan Johnson's probably going to be a really good player for us. I don't think that you can drop Richarlison at this point. I think he needs to really gain that confidence back. But would I like to see Johnson in that position on Friday? Of course I would, because I don't think Richarlison's playing in his true position, because that would be where Son is playing right now up front. But you can't take Son off that position right now because he's doing absolutely incredible. So it's a somewhat good problem to have for Postecoglou, but I still go with Richarlison right now. And then Alejandro Velez, he came on also in that 81st minute. Once again, hard to grade. It was all hard to grade for those three. I gave him a 6.5. It was a decent performance. Again, the game was mostly in the bag by then. There weren't really a ton of outstanding attacking opportunities for any of these players to show some attacking prowess, but they got the job done. So given that is the player recap, review, rating, whatever you want to call it for this match. And given that, I mean, that's going to be it for today. Another outstanding win for Tottenham Hotspur. It's a short week because the Premier League TV schedules are so much fun. Tottenham will be playing on Friday, so whatever. That's what you get for not making European football, which, again, I think not being in European football right now is actually helping the squad. So, given that, that's going to be it for this episode of Top of the Perch. If you just stumbled across this video, if you're a Tottenham fan or a Tottenham hater and you just want to see that, hey, thanks for watching. You could click like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. You can tell anybody you know about it if you really enjoyed it. We will be back on Friday, obviously, for a recap of that match at Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Usually a difficult spot for Tottenham to play. Going up against Roy Hodgson's men should be an interesting challenge. So make sure you tune in for that on Friday.